Hey, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day, and sorry if my voice is a little bit yucky sounding. I caught a little bit of a cold while I was up in Kentucky at the GIE, but I just wanted to give you an update on the Bluegrass and check it out. It's coming on in pretty good. So you can see now this right here is all dead fescue. This is actually going to be a mulch bed that I'm gonna put going all around the building, so I don't care anything about this. But you can see it's coming in pretty lovely. I mean, I'm pretty pleased with this, and I know that the Bluegrass will fill in really well. So it has a spreading capability. You can see I've got some big nasty chunks of that's crabgrass in here. Not at all worried about that. You can see they're actually starting to turn yellow. They're starting to change color because we've had some we haven't had a hard frost yet. That's what it'll take to make that go away. But we've had some really super low temperatures close to a frost, and it's discoloring all of that. So I'm not really sweating that. I'll take care of that with pre-emergent next year. But the Bewitched, the Prosperity, and the Midnight are all looking exceptional. And the Appalachian, you can see it's really coming on good. I've got one little spot over there in the corner where it's not doing all that well, and I'm 99.9% sure that's the seed washed away. I've got some little ruts and stuff over there. I've got to kind of spot seed that and fix that a little bit. But I'm gonna give this a quick mow with my little mass port right here. I have mowed this one time. I mowed it down really close to the ground. This is really new and almost difficult for me. Mowing this low. It's crazy how low I can cut this and get away with it. So I'm looking forward to hooking up with I've got a company of mine who makes reel mowers, REEL. You know, Bluegrass actually likes more water than fescue, so we got our work cut out here for sure. But we're gonna try it and see what happens. But I'm gonna cut this stuff really short. Honestly, wishing I would have went with the pre-emergent, with the tenacity. I'll never ever again try to do an organic grow-in or organic renovation, because you can see it's just a lot of crap in here. But again, we can get rid of that later. My main point is to get this turf rolling. So I've been getting a lot of, I don't know if you can see it, my yard's coming back in really well. The test plot's coming back in really well. You can see this is where we had all that, oh man, it's a swell right here. Let's see if you can see it. Maybe. There's a swell right here where the water that comes from up there runs straight down through here. When we had the hurricanes, this was just, it was nasty. It was gushing down through here like a river. And what happens is it lays the turf over flat, and it can't stand back up. And it just lays on itself, rots and dies because it's underwater. So it's coming back real good. Still got a couple of little spots right here that hadn't kind of came in yet. I'm gonna work on those a little bit more. I've had a lot of folks ask, well, Pete, why how come you haven't shown your yard? Well, everything isn't perfect all the time, and I'll have to do another video totally completely on my yard and let you know what happened to it. But I did not have a good time with it this fall at all. I'll do something detailed, but in a nutshell, it was super. It got way too much water for one reason. I had an infestation of grub worms. While I'm talking, I'm trying to put this GoPro on a different stand. had an infestation of grub worms come out of nowhere. That'll never happen again because I'll always pre-treat, and I'll always recommend you do the same. I kind of got away from that, thinking I was invincible to that, but invincible. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but I'll never do it again. And was battling some gray leaf spot, just copious amounts of rain, water, had very high humidity, and it was very interesting because we had armyworm issues, and we typically don't have armyworm issues, and it was brand new to me, and so that they eat my yard all to pieces. So I'll show you, I've got some video on that somewhere, but I'll show you all of that in a different video. But let's mow this bluegrass right now. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This corner is the low area in this 1,500 square foot plot. Okay, you see I've got plenty of bluegrass coming up. This is the Appalachian, and you know, not knocking the Appalachian. It's coming up great, but the more I think about it, this is the low area, and this is where all the runoff was. So who knows if this seed got washed away or not. But you can see I got plenty of bluegrass coming up in here, but I've still got some of these bare patches, and I'm gonna take this tool, and you can see it'll put a bunch of little tiny perforations. It's not a weasel, it's a little bit different. They use this on a golf course. It's more of a spiker type tool, but it's a hand tool. So I'm gonna do that, put some more seed down, cover it up with a little bit of peat moss, and have at it with the water again. All right, so there you go. I've got all this filled in, and of course it's not actually as bare as it looks because the peat moss kind of covered up some of the little baby bluegrass, but you can kind of see the streaks where it washed down. You can see the bluegrass come up in straight lines kind of, and it all went right down through there. So here's the neighbor's renovation. It's coming in pretty good. Same issue here. This side, you can't tell it from here, but this side is way thinner than that side because the majority of the water went right down through here. So we'll do another video on that when I patch that up and fix that. But look right here. This is the I think this is Bewitched. This over here is the Midnight Prosperity. And right now, the Bewitched is by far winning. I know if you go back and watch the other videos, you hear me say, well, this one's winning, this one winning, this one winning. Well, they're kind of going in phases as the weeks go on, but right now the Bewitched is definitely the thickest, and it's coming in the best. So we'll see springtime. We will definitely see. So let's get some fertilizer on this and talk about what I'm gonna do about, with that. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is what's called spoon feeding, okay? Spoon feeding is giving the turf little small doses of nitrogen frequently and kind of just gently nudging it along. And that's what I'm gonna do with this Bluegrass, because it fills in and spreads on its own, I'm gonna use a little nitrogen to do that. I got Green Punch, 1801 Green Punch, and Humic 12. I'm gonna run the Humic with the Green Punch, and I've got about 2 gallons of water in here for that 1,500 square foot. Now, when you're using the Green Punch, if you've got this and you're using it, be sure and use more water than say that quart per thousand rate we've been running with this sprayer nozzle assembly. You just want more water carrier to put the product out, because it is a liquid nitrogen. We don't want any accidents or mistakes or tip burn or anything like that. So I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to run 10 ounces of Humic 12, 10 ounces of 1801 for the 1,500 square feet. And I'm going to do that about every 10 days for the next, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. Here in North Carolina, we're quite mild right now. We're 60 degrees in the middle of the day. Really, really good weather right now to push that bluegrass. So now you'll notice when I'm spraying, this is a little bit different sprayer setup. This is a different type battery sprayer that I'm kind of messing around, trying out. I'll give you the lowdown on it later. All right, so last but not least, I'm gonna put me a little water on it. I decided not to use any adjuvant right here because obviously I had to water the grass seed, so it was pointless to put an adjuvant with it. So I'm just watering the product in. Now, one quick mention right here on the watering. Here's the way I'm approaching this. I'm running this water right here, this sprinkler setup. This thing puts out quite a bit of water, as you can see. I'm running it for about 25 minutes right now, right after I've done the work. I'm gonna get it good and wet, almost to the point of a little bit mushy. All right, and then I'm only gonna run this thing about 5 minutes a day, once a day, for the next couple of weeks. Okay, and I may even back off that some, because all I'm trying to do is get this ground good and soaking wet, and then I'm going to kind of micromanage the water, if that makes any sense. And that way I can keep this top quarter inch or so moist, is all I'm trying to do. And hopefully, I think we're out of hurricane season and we get no more hurricanes, and this should come in quite nicely. All right, so a little quick recap. I'm pretty sure the reason this didn't come in quite as well as I did get some washing here, maybe. That's what we're gonna blame it on, okay? I gave it a quick mowed it a little shorter, and then your bluegrass, of course, this is cut at 1 inch. So bluegrass, I can get away with this. Fescue, you can't. But what I did, I took it down a little bit shorter, come out with my little rake tool, work this ground up just a little bit, put a bunch of little teeny tiny perforations in the ground, put some more seed on it, top dressed it with peat moss, put, I think it's about a half rate. I think the jug rate on the 1801 is 20 ounces per 1,000, so a little under a half rate is what I got on here, and now I'm watering it in. So there you go. And you know, I'm getting tons of emails about spot seeding and fixing little places here and there. When's the latest I can do it? Well, for years and years and years, I pay no attention to that first frost. A lot of people wig out. Ooh, the frost is coming. I don't pay any attention to it. I look at the actual ground itself. I'm more concerned with the actual ground being frozen, the dirt being frozen. And I don't have a specific temperature I can give you, because I don't really look at that stuff. I'm a more of a feel type guy. You know, you got golfers that play by exact yardages, and then you got guys that play by feel. I'm more of that feel type guy. I just kind of, you know, the ground's not frozen rock solid, So let's put a little grass seed on it, keep it wet. Yes, it's going to take a little longer for it to come in. That's obvious, but it will come in, especially if your climate's anywhere near North Carolina. Well, we've actually seeded all the way up into December, and that turf still come in and be just fine the next spring. So it's a little slower, obviously. You know, you can't expect the same type germination in late October, 1st of November as you would in September. It's you know, plain and simple like that. So if you got some spots, get out there and get them mended, get them fixed up, top dress them. Maybe put you a little dose of that 1801 out, a little light feeding, spoon feed it, and get it rolling. So I still got lots of work to do around here. We've got about 2 more weeks of aeration and seeding to do with work. Once that's over, I'll be freed up a little bit more. I'll start doing, I've actually got all of this videoed. I have so many videos right now. It ain't even, I've got hours and hours and hours of footage from renovation week, aerating, seeding. I got ride-alongs, I got drone footage, anything and everything you can imagine. I've got it dealing with seeding. So I'll be loading those through the winter when, I don't know, everybody else is talking about whatever. I'll show you some seeding videos. So hey, I hope this has helped. Hope you've enjoyed this video. And I'm still super excited about this bluegrass. I can look at it right now, and the way it's coming in compared to looking at 15 years of fescue germinating, this is going to be a really dark piece of grass. Matter of fact, it's given me a really cool idea for next year, but we'll talk about that next year. So hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've got a cool GIE video edited, ready to go. I'll post it in the next few days, or heck, you may watch it before I post this one. But get your bluegrass right.